Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. I hope you are doing great. So today we are going to be learning about NDBs, what they are and how to fly using them. If you haven't yet watched the VOR guide that I made as well, go ahead and check it out. It should be in one of my quick guides playlist. So NDB stands for non-directional beacon. The NDB is simply a radio station that emits AM radio signals. It is the most primitive way of radio navigation available in aviation. It started out in the 1930s and its usage has slowly been fading away ever since VORs and especially GPSs became a thing around the year 2000. These radio stations have a range of about 100 nautical miles over land, but for some reason in Microsoft Flight Simulator we seem to only be able to receive these signals up to 70 to 80 nautical miles regardless of terrain. It is becoming harder and harder to find places with working NDB stations nowadays, as basically no one really flies with them anymore. However, I feel that learning about it is still very important, as the more you know, the easier it will be to get yourself away from difficult situations in the future. But how do we receive these signals in our aircraft, you might ask? Well, we do it using the ADF, which stands for the Automatic Direction Finder. This instrument is simply a receiver that intercepts the signals coming from the radio station and points directly at it at all times. We are going to be using the Sintra NDB as an example today, on frequency 371 as shown in this picture, with its corresponding Morse code identifier. This is a very simple way of navigating, so without further ado, let's get right into the cockpit. We are sitting at Cascais Airport with the Cessna 152. The ADF is located to the right side of the panel right here, and the frequency selector right below it. We'll be departing from runway 35 directly to the northwest, and after passing Cabo de Roca, we will attempt to fly directly to Sintra NDB using the equipment on board. I'll get the aircraft set up and in the air, and I'll see you over Cabo de Roca at 1,500 feet.
We're now over Cabo de Roca at about 1,500 feet at around 90 knots. And we have Sintra Air Base somewhere to our right side about 2 o'clock. Frequency for the Sintra NDB, as we saw earlier, is going to be 371. Currently we have on our ADF 370, and as soon as I turn the 0 to 1, so 371, I am 100% sure that the needle will point towards the NDB station. There you go. So now I know that the NDB station is over to my 2 o'clock as I expected. All I need to do to fly to the NDB is really point my aircraft towards the yellow arrow and line the draw-in of the airplane with the yellow line as seen here. So now I am flying directly to Sintra NDB. It is really as simple as that. Realistically speaking, there would be two ways of flying to an NDB. You could either do a homing technique or a tracking technique. However, I'm not going to even explain the tracking technique, as it makes no sense nowadays. You use NDB so little that when you do, homing is more than enough. So homing will basically fly you to the NDB regardless. However, you might take a curved trajectory. This will depend on the wind intensity. So if you have strong winds from the left or strong winds from the right, it is most likely that the aircraft's going to get pushed either left or right. And if you keep correcting that trajectory to the NDB, it is going to end up in being a curved trajectory if you look at it from above. The only consequence to this is really just you're going to take longer to get to the NDB, and you're going to burn a bit more fuel. Air traffic controller that gives you instructions to fly to an NDB is going to take this into account, that there will be drift, so realistically they give you like 30 degrees to each side as a margin of error anyways.
So that is it really. Even though there's a lot of things to talk about NDBs, nowadays it doesn't really make sense to go too much in depth. So this will cover the basics, this will get you flying to and from NDBs, and it'll definitely work out. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something. Safe flights to everyone. See you!